sight, and it prevents the Terran player from using his full range to his full advantage. So instead, the Zerg are going to move past the brush and burrow to sort of hide from those Reapers. And you can see there's more Roaches moving up, even as the Reapers move up to capture this watchtower. They've captured the watchtower, and that's allowed them to see the Roaches. And you can see the Roaches are moving in here. That's not a good fight for those Reapers, and they're going to move away to safety.
Those Reapers need to get away as fast as possible, so they're going to go down. We have a couple more Roaches, and the Zerglings are coming in for a surround. That one lone Reaper just happened to make the wrong kind of jump, and here he goes. He's getting pressure down. Will we see that Reaper fall? No, it's looking like he's getting away with just 5 HP.
Unbelievable move. He managed to skate away from that Zergling attack and save that Reaper. He really needs every unit on the battlefield right now. The Terran player's in a lot of trouble. He's got Zerglings, he's got Roaches, he's got Banelings out on the battlefield to deal with. The Zerg are really in command right now. They're attacking the rocks at will, and they're continuing this relentless assault on the Terran base.
Now we can see that David Kim is going with even more Reapers to try and give the back of his base even more backup. He does not want Matthew Cooper getting in that back door.
Yeah, he really can't let Matt in the back door. And you can see he's moving here to try to engage. He's jumping down. The Reapers are very effective, those 2 pistols, against those Zerglings. And you can see he doesn't want to fight the Roaches quite as much. Even though he might be able to survive that fight, he would lose a lot of Reapers as part of the battle. And you can see the Zerg knows this. He's bringing up more Roaches to keep putting pressure on these rocks. At the same time, he's moving other forces to the front, trying to keep David Kim guessing, where are the Zerg going to attack next?
That's right, Matt Cooper is now able to pressure both the back and the front at the same time. We can see a bunch of Banelings getting morphed into play. Will they be able to finish in time? We have a bunch of those Reapers trying to go around and destroy that Roach threat, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. Will we see the Banelings finish? We're probably going to see some DA charges thrown down. Oh, there they are. Here come a bunch of Banelings. Those DA charges.
Oh, terrible, terrible damage on both sides. You can see the Zerg lost almost all of their forces to those D8 charges, to those proximity mines thrown down by the Reapers. At the same time, the Banelings swept in and just took out a huge number of the Terran Marines. You can see the Zerg are trying to press their advantage here and get in, but they don't have a lot of forces left. The Marines have managed to reinforce that bunker, and now the Zerg are just not really able to be very effective with what they have in the field. They got a couple of Roaches. The Marines are dancing around and making them work for it. Looks like a Marauder just came into play. That's going to be the end of that Roach right there, but there is still one Roach loose on the battlefield. You can see it's gotten into the back here, and it's attacking that Marine, and now it's free to attack these SCVs. Here comes a Baneling trying to do some damage, and it does some damage to those SCVs. Not enough to take them all out, but still enough to hurt them very, very badly and allow this Roach to get a lot of free kills on these SCVs.
Now, fortunately enough, Matt Cooper does have burrow research, so he's able to burrow that Roach while it very quickly regenerates its HP. That's going to enable it to recharge and still maintain just as big of a threat as it was in the first place.
Yeah, he's got this Commando Roach here in the back of the Terran base, just tearing up the SCVs, and he's continuing to pressure the Terran's front door, moving in Zerglings against those Marauders. Not a lot of forces moving, a little bit of a waste of an attack here by the Zerg player, but he wants to keep the pressure up, and he wants to try to make sure that the Terrans can't figure out what to do. You see, the Roach is up again, and he's tearing away those SCVs, killing as many as he can. Meanwhile, the Terrans are moving up some forces, trying to take out that Roach and end this persistent threat.
Oh, and there it goes, burrowing again just in time before that threat can become imminent. We do see an infestation pit is going down for Matt now. He might be going for some higher tech units. We may even see some infestors on the field.
Yeah, infestors would be a powerful choice for the Zerg right now, but it's also a gateway building for him to move into much higher tech units. He can move all the way up to Ultralisks once he gets that infestation pit into play. He needs to improve his lair, but he can really move up. And you can see the Zerg here are burrowed. There's some more Zerglings out on the map. The Terrans are moving out. The Banelings are burrowed on. He decides not to use them quite yet. He's drawing the Terrans out. The Marauders are not the greatest target for the Banelings. Still a pretty good choice. And it looks like the Zerg player is sort of drawing the Terrans out, waiting for him to move to a position where he can really get a lot of kills as cheaply as possible against this Terran advance.
And David Kim is moving up towards that Zelnaga watch area. He wants to take control of the center of the map so that he can see exactly what's going on. If only his units had made it there a few seconds sooner. It's looking like Matt Cooper is going in for a surround. And here he goes. Those Terran units have nowhere to go.
Oh, there's really nowhere for them to run now. It's going to be just all over but for the screaming. Here comes the Banelings moving in, just taking out those Marauders, blowing up, killing everything in sight, and the Zerg once again have just complete control of this battlefield. A few Marines coming way too late, trying to rescue their buddies, don't arrive in time, and they're all torn down by this relentless Zerg attack.
Now, Matt Cooper, again, is maintaining control of the front of David Kim's base. If he is able to keep up his economic advantage, we could really see him contain David Kim until the bitter end.
And you can see he's attacking the back door again here, trying to break through these rocks, and it looks like David Kim has got nothing left to defend these rocks with right now. He's going to have to let them fall, and that's going to give the Zerg another entrance into the Terran base. I don't really see how the Zerg player cannot fail to just overrun the Terrans. You've got more Banelings coming into play, and that supply depot is going to go down very quickly to this Zerg attack.
Now, all these Banelings are just about to finish morphing. We could see them make make it right into David Kim's resource line and destroy a ton of SCVs. Here go the Zerglings. They're trying to lead the way here. Oh, and a couple Marauders and some Marines make it into some bunkers. It's looking like those Zerglings cannot pursue.
Yeah, David Kim realized the threat and the danger was in there. He put up some bunkers very, very quickly to allow him to defend his base there. He knew he was not going to be able to protect those rocks anymore and that they were going to fall eventually. So he has put up some bunkers to allow him to defend himself. Meanwhile, the Zerg are moving here to the front door, trying to see what kind of threat they can offer. But this has bought David Kim some time to move his troops around inside his base. So he's free, because the Zerg player's taking a little too long here to press his attack, to move his troops around and protect himself however he chooses.
Now back over on production, we can see that the Zerglings are researching faster movements so that they can run around a little quicker. Matt Cooper being extra careful to make sure that David Kim cannot look around the rest of the map.
He's got total control right now. He does not want the Terran player to understand what's going on right now. And the Terran player has no idea there's another expansion going up here for the Zerg right now. He doesn't know about it. And it looks like the Zerg are really in command of the map right now, able to do as they please with this force right in front of the Terran base.
We do see a couple infestors coming into play. Now, David Kim does not want any more commando roaches up in his natural expansion, so we did see a couple of missile turrets going down over there. We do see that David Kim now has worked all the way up to Banshees.
Right, he's really bought himself a lot of time here with all of these delays. The Zerg are not that high-tech yet, and the Banshees are coming out. This is a gunship for the Terran player that's very, very effective against ground units. Not a lot of anti-air in the game right now for the Zerg. It's going to make the Zerg very, very vulnerable to these Banshees. If he can get them into play, they can do a lot of damage to the Zerg right now. So the Terrans not out of the game yet. They're still in a position where their technology could really come into play, and they could really maybe sort of drive off this force that's been harassing them for the whole game.
And here comes Matthew Cooper. He's scouting out the rest of the map as well, because he's not sure if possibly David Kim had already built a command center and floated it over to one of these locations.
Yeah, it's so hard with the Terrans to know what exactly is going on with their medevacs and all of the choices they have. It's very easy for the Terrans to sometimes sneak some buildings around the map and hide them in places where you least expect them. You saw those Banshees flying by overhead. Not a lot of Banshees moving out here from the Terrans, but he is in a bad position. He needs to try to put some pressure back on the Zerg, and this is what he needs to find and destroy. What a great move by the Terran player, using these Banshees to find this expansion and forcing this expansion, just destroying this expansion entirely and forcing it out of the game.
And we can see David Kim continue to pressure into Matthew Cooper's base. We can see them flying overhead. He is going to use this air advantage